Pixar has spent years making films that are enjoyable to kids and adults alike. From Toy Story to Coco, the studio has become a favorite of moviegoers of all ages. Onward is no exception to the rule, building a magical, kid-friendly adventure in between some pretty adult topics and jokes. Onward follows Ian and Barley Lightfoot as they try to bring their dad back from the dead for a single day in order to get to know him. Unfortunately, Ian only brings back the bottom half of their dad, leading to a quest to find a magic gem that can bring back his upper half before he completely fades away at sundown. As the Two and a Half Men go about their urgent quest, there's plenty of Weekend at Bernie's-esque shenanigans and magical mix-ups to delight the kids. However, adults might find themselves wondering why the movie's main story is about two kids bonding with their dad's butt. As Uproxx's Mike Ryan so eloquently summarized, this is about two kids resurrecting their dead dad's crotch, and it's just the weirdest thing. While Pixar has managed to stay beloved over the years, other animation studios have stepped up their game. Disney's non-Pixar animation studio brought the world Frozen and Tangled, while DreamWorks had a massive franchise hit on its hands with How to Train Your Dragon. Still, even as other studios have begun to match Pixar's artistry, Pixar movies feel unique, with an incomparable sense of style and personality that shines through. Until Onward, that is. The 2020 movie feels like Pixar slapped a logo over a DreamWorks film, from the character designs to the dancing sequence in the middle. In fact, Onward looks like a DreamWorks movie was a common refrain when the trailer first dropped. While it might not go so far as to have a dance sequence as the credits roll, that might not stop some adults from briefly forgetting which studio made Onward. About halfway through Onward, Ian and Barley Lightfoot get pulled over by some fantasy cops. One, a Cyclops played by Lena Waithe, offhandedly mentions her girlfriend's daughter. It's a small moment for a character that really only shows up in a very small scene. Still, adults will likely catch the implication that Waithe's character is gay. However, considering the brief screen time for the character and the even briefer mention of the character's girlfriend, it's unlikely that children will catch the meaning. It's wonderful that Disney is acknowledging the existence of LGBTQ+ people in the world of their films, but like the brief lesbian kiss in Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, these moments tend to be fairly insubstantial. Hopefully, the existence of people along a gender and sexual spectrum won't be something that only adults notice in films going forward. In one notable set piece, Ian and Barley have to figure out a way to cross a bottomless pit in order to continue their quest. Barley tells Ian about a spell that will let him walk on air by creating an invisible bridge that continues to exist as long as he truly believes in it. The safety rope falls away while Ian's halfway across, but he's already gotten the confidence to cross the bridge by himself and doesn't notice. Children might be on the edge of their seats hoping that Ian makes it across, but the whole scene will likely feel very familiar to the adults watching. The whole set piece feels a bit like team-building exercises like the trust fall or walking on hot coals, or the invisible bridge Indiana Jones had to walk across in The Last Crusade. For the majority of the runtime of Onward, viewers are likely empathizing with Ian's quest to get to know his dad. He's the character who seems most outwardly affected by his father's death, and he's the one who seems most eager to bring him back as soon as possible. Near the end of the film, however, Barley reveals that he has deep regrets over not getting the chance to say goodbye to his dad before he passed away. During the scene, the adults in the audience might realize that Barley's voice actor, Chris Pratt, had some practice playing an aging man-child struggling to get over the traumatic death of a parent due to a sudden sickness. After all, that describes Barley just as well as it describes Peter Quill in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies.
Star-Lord.
Who?
Star-Lord, man. Legendary outlaw.
Even though Onward is ostensibly set in the modern world with touchscreen cell phones, there's a distinctly 80s sensibility to the environment. Barley drives a van with a fantasy decal on the side, plays a game similar to Dungeons & Dragons, and both Ian and Barley listen to cassette decks instead of streaming music or even CDs. Even their mother Laurel gets her exercise by watching a workout tape. As The Atlantic's David Sims wrote in his review, Onward is informed by the 80s aesthetic of tabletop games, minivans airbrushed with heavy metal album cover art, and cookie-cutter suburban life. While plenty of kids won't even recognize a cassette, nostalgic adults might recall their own days playing Dungeons & Dragons and listening to 80s power ballads, or at least watching films that reference those moments. Plot holes don't tend to matter much in a world that literally has magic in it. Still, there are some rules to the magic in Onward, and one moment near the end of the film may leave adults scratching their heads. During the battle with the dragon, Ian loses his dad's magical staff, but manages to make his own by enlarging a splinter that had gotten stuck in his hand earlier in the film. In the epilogue, Ian can be seen giving a talk to a group of students as he stands with his magical splinter staff. However, earlier in the film, it's established that Barley's accidental shrinking because of the spell misfiring is temporary. While kids are enjoying the epilogue, adults might be wondering whether objects made larger are also temporary, or whether that only applies to shrunk objects. If Ian can make things permanently larger, does this lead to a cloudy with a chance of meatballs type situation? Or does Ian just throw his splinter whenever he wants to use his staff? Can anyone explain this?
Please to explain it.
Yeah. Well, whenever you notice something like that, a wizard did it.
I see, all right, yes. But in episode AG4...
Wizard.
Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Looper videos about your favorite movies and TV shows are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.